Overall, I think the number one concern of people, and it comes up in every different survey, is I don't want to run out of money. Jay, make sure I don't run out of money. That's the big problem right now. Do you find that fear when people are walking in the door? It's what everybody says. You're the person who talks to everybody. Is that what you see? What you hear?
Absolutely, number one fear, and it doesn't take much to see why that is, right? Okay, because people are moving in from, and we talk about this a lot. You're moving from your work life to retirement life to retire. Everything financially is starting to change and really do a bit of a 180 on you, right? Prior to this, you've been working. You've had a paycheck coming in every couple of weeks or twice a month or whenever you get paid. Probably, hopefully, you're contributing to a retirement plan of some type, a 401k, a 403b, whatever it might be. Maybe if you're fortunate, your employer is contributing to that as well. And you're probably hopefully you're a bit more on the aggressive side while you're accumulating wealth in your working years. Well, what's happening now? Now that's changing. We're going into retirement. So my paycheck that's coming in every 2 weeks, well, that's not going to be coming in. I've got to figure out a way to replace that. My retirement account that I was contributing to and my employer was contributing to, well, it's not growing through contributions anymore. I'm just relying on kind of whatever growth I can get through the markets. In addition to that, not only am I not going to be contributing to it, very likely I'm going to be drawing from it to help supplement my retirement income. So everything's changing. And if you follow through kind of those concerns that are happening, the changes that are happening in the financial life, it's not a big leap to get to the whole idea of, what if I'm 82 and I've got nothing left?
Right. Yeah.
Because if you're retiring at 60 or 62, and we talk about this a lot, you might want to retire. And believe me, like, we get some people kind of dragging themselves into the office here, and you can just look at them like, yeah, they really want to retire. You can tell.
Done.
I get it.
Yep.
But if you had to be given a choice and it said, hey, you've got to work for another 2 years. You don't have to do it now. You can do it when you're 82 if you like. You'd probably rather do it now.
Yeah, I guess.
Right? Okay. So as much as you want to retire, do you have the ability to keep working? Not everybody does, right? But most people like, if I have to, I probably could. Once I get to 82, probably I can't, right? But I might not physically be able to. So that's why the fear is that, right? Is if I don't plan this out right, if I make the wrong decisions, if the markets don't do what I'm thinking and I've got too much exposure to them, yeah, I'll have my Social Security, but I got to tell you, for most people, that's not going to be enough.
Yeah. I went with a friend of mine over to have a burger and at lunchtime, and we saw somebody that we knew over there. It used to be somebody that was in his neighborhood. Her name was Pat, and went up to said hi to Pat. How's things going, Pat? And she just looked at us and she goes, January 31st.
Yeah.
And I go, what's that? She goes, the day I retire, and I am scared to death. And so she was just full of anxiety about this. And I think, what is it about having a meeting with you, putting things down on paper, and how does that change the dynamic of things when people see it in front of them that they can retire? And I know that there's people that even don't believe that they can retire. But that's got to add some confidence when you see the math and it says you're going to be okay.
It's one of the best feelings of being in this industry is what I believe, right?
Okay.
Is when you're able to meet with somebody and that first meeting they're anxious, they're nervous, a bit on guard because they don't know quite what's going to happen in that meeting, right? They don't know kind of what information they're going to be given. They've got their fingers crossed behind their back like, man, I think I've done a good job saving, right? We've sacrificed a lot so we can get to this point. We've worked on paying off or paying down significantly our debt. We've been contributing to retirement plans. We haven't gone on those expensive European vacations so that we can put more money away. I hope it's been worth it, right?
Yeah.
And we're in an environment when we're talking about the most intimate financial details of your life. And, a lot of people don't discuss that even with their closest family members. But they're going to discuss it with us, right? And we go from that, we get the data. And fortunately, most of the meetings we have, we're able to give good news. It's not always the case, right? But fortunately, we do. And in that second meeting, after we've done our work, we've got the data, and we're able to show somebody, hey, with what you have and the retirement income you're trying to generate, you're in a great spot. And the relief that washes over them, and it's a completely different environment, it's a completely different kind of vibe that's going on. And as weird as this sounds, sometimes that gives people the energy to work another year or so.
That's interesting.
Because there is, your mind and your mentality control a lot, right? They really do.
Yeah.
And when you're working because you feel like you're somewhat of a prisoner and you can't stop, right? I've got to go in. It's an obligation. It's a duty, right? When we have that second meeting with somebody and we're able to tell them, hey, just say when. You're ready to go, right? And we'll walk through kind of this is why. And we'll give it, this is why you're able to, right? And this is how it will work. They're not going to work out of obligation. They're not going to work because they have no choice. It's on their terms at this point. And that's freeing. It's liberating. And it happens. It's like, oh, I can, it doesn't bother me going to work that much tomorrow because I know I don't have to if I don't want to.